that's our first question for you.
Well, weightlessness, that is something that is truly unique up here. There is, unfortunately, no way to train weightlessness on Earth. We can get a taste of it on a parabolic flight, but it's just not the same as actually living and working in weightlessness up here. And it's not just fun, but it's also very challenging whenever you have to find a piece of equipment or a tool in a bag, and you have to get that piece of equipment out or tool out without losing everything else in the bag. I mean, we've all, on multiple occasions, lost items. Luckily, most of them we found again near an air vent, maybe a couple minutes, maybe a couple hours later. But it is certainly one of the challenges that you don't really get to learn how to cope with until you get up here.
Bob?
So it is an international space station. When we entered for the first time on December 10th, Sergei Krikalev and I went through all the modules side by side as an international crew. We've had 273 people from 21 different countries visit the space station, and we've got 4 of the 5 partner countries represented right now, partner agencies represented right now in ISS. What have you learned working together as an international crew? How do you find life on ISS?
One of my favorite aspects of the International Space Station is the international part of it. As you said, we've got 4 of the 5 different partner agencies up here, and we each bring our unique perspectives, not just from our different nationalities, but also our different backgrounds, whether that's work backgrounds. And so I think you're definitely strengthened by the international partnership. It's just like gaining redundancy in things. When you have multiple partners working together, it's stronger and more resilient to any sort of problems or obstacles that come in the way. And so it definitely makes us stronger, and I think that's why we have had the International Space Station up here for 25 years now.
Awesome. You guys are ambassadors to the world, and is there one thing that you'd want people on Earth to know about the International Space Station, and what would that be?
Well, one of the things that surprised me most as I started at NASA and then started training for this mission is just how complex the International Space Station program is. There are groups of people, teams of people all over the world who are figuring out every aspect of these missions, everything from our food and clothes to the science research that we'll be doing on board. They're also the ones who are operating space station. Believe it or not, even though we're on board, we don't actually fly space station. That's flown by the teams of flight controllers and mission control centers in Houston and Russia and elsewhere on the planet. And so we're super grateful to be supported by this amazing team, and it's just a really inspiring effort to be a part of.
Awesome. Thank you.
So we're in the decade of science on the International Space Station now, and it's pretty amazing all the things that are getting done. I got asked by some of the audience here with me today, does the crew like doing science in space? So I'm asking you guys, what's your favorite experiment? Is there anything that really captures your imagination while you're working up there?
Okay, I'll start, and then we might have a few others chime in. But one of the things that I found most interesting on board is all the human research that we do. And that's just recently 2 things that I've gotten to be involved in. One is the CIPHER experiment, which Satoshi and I are both a part of. And that is a study comprised of 14 different experiments studying all aspects of human physiology and psychology in space and how the human body adapts to the space environment. So that's been very interesting, and that study's aimed at improving the health of astronauts on long-duration missions. The other thing that we've all been getting to work on since SpaceX 29 arrived is a couple different experiments in the life sciences glove box. And those experiments are all studying aging, so the aging process of the human body, and our immune system and how that's impacted as we age. Believe it or not, we all get older faster when we are on orbit, and so that essentially speeds up time for researchers so they can study the phenomenon that happens in our cells at a faster rate than they could on Earth. And again, the goal of that is helping improve the health of astronauts on longer duration missions to the Moon and Mars, but also to help improve life on Earth for people in terms of tissue degradation and disease as humans age.
And just to add, I think what I find truly fascinating is the breadth of experiments that we do up here. You know, we have everything from the cold atom laboratory, where we're studying Bose-Einstein condensates, which are particles very close to the absolute zero temperature point. We have the alpha magnetic spectrometer on the outside of the space station. Then we have the biofabrication facility inside, which essentially is a 3D printer where we can print human tissue, human organs even, or at least that's what we're leading up towards. So really, the research up here spans so many fields, and I think that's incredibly interesting.
The experiments which we really like, there are so many, but I wanted to talk also about psychological experiments which we are doing right now, because, you know, I was so surprised that when you live here and you're deprived of common things and you work together within like a small group of people, you see how your emotions and skills evolve, and like things which make you sad, they are like making you really sad, and things which make you laugh, you are really, you know, the degree of those emotions is a little bit different, and there are a few experiments which study that, and I think it's fascinating, especially to see how they change over the term of like a few months, which is really, really amazing, and I think it will help us to build the way towards longer flights.
Great answers. Thank you, guys. As we look forward to the International Space Station in the next few years, what are some of the important things we need to keep doing on Space Station to keep Space Station a successful mission, and also to help the commercial destinations that are coming forward towards the end of the decade?
Well, something that excites me are the number of national astronauts from countries who aren't necessarily a part of the original partnership behind the International Space Station, that they now have an opportunity through commercial programs to come up here and conduct science and technology development. And I hope that over the next many years, we'll continue to see more and more countries send their national astronauts up here in order to increase the international aspect of the space station. I think that's incredibly exciting to see how many countries, and hopefully also in the future private companies, are interested in utilizing a laboratory in low Earth orbit.
So one of the things that I loved to do whenever I had any spare time was just look out the window at the Earth as it went by. And I always told first-time flyers, stick your nose up to the window and make a memory. It's really a special opportunity that you have. You know, you guys have that amazing cupola. Is there anything that you've noticed looking down on the Earth that has caused you to think differently, or is there any particular place that you're looking for? What's your favorite thing to do looking out that cupola?
I was really amazed by the view of lightnings. You know, those like big fields of clouds, and without any stop, like instantaneous lights here and there. Like sometimes they might be like 5 or 10 per second, and you see those fields of lightnings at night over the clouds, and that amazes me so much. I cannot just stop doing that. And all the time we do air raid exercises. I cannot, like during the breaks between exercises, I go and look at those. That is really amazing. I didn't expect that it looks so magnificent.
And also just that it's every time we pass over the same areas every few days, but it's different every single time based on the weather, based on the lighting. So the same exact spot looks just slightly different each time, and each time there's something beautiful about it. And now, we've been passing over a lot of snowy regions in the north, and it looks totally different than it did when we first got up here. So just the how alive it is and beautiful and changing.
Awesome questions. Every time you guys answer a question, you put smiles on our faces down here. So thank you guys. You talked about some of the research, and are there any results that you would like to see, or you do an experiment and you're like, oh, I really wish this would result in this answer, or this would result in that answer? Have you got any thoughts on the research? And I'd be curious to see if, what you think about kind of the future and how we want to continue research on board Space Station. It's a tough one.
I think it would be so interesting to see how we can protect humans from radiation. Like, we are doing a lot of experiments on how you can block radiation and how you can help to save the human from those levels, especially if you go to different orbits. We are doing that a lot here, and I'm wondering if we can find the material or another means of stopping the radiation so that we can find the way to travel to Mars and beyond.
Awesome answer. Great answer. Great answer.
So when I was up...
I would just perhaps also, just add that I think it's very interesting to see if we'll develop a commercial capability in low Earth orbit in the future. I mentioned biofabrication earlier. Will it be possible to actually produce human tissue or human tissue equivalents or organ equivalents up here for use on the Earth, or perhaps fiber optic production, which is also something that we are just testing now during this mission as well. So those are examples of something perhaps in the future could find commercial aspects, and I think that's really interesting.
Totally agree. Commercial LEO destinations are going to be so important. We have so many questions, and we're running out of time rapidly. I think we got about 5 minutes left. When I left the space station, Node 1 was pretty Spartan and immaculate. It's kind of accumulated a lot of stuff over the years. And with 275 launches to ISS, have you guys hit anything for future crews or lost something up there that you're still looking for?
Well, we might have found something that someone had been looking for quite a while. Our good friend Frank Rubio, who headed home, has been blamed for quite a while for eating the tomato, but we can exonerate him. We found the tomatoes.
Awesome. I think we'll have probably one more question, and then we'll probably hand it back over to Capcom and let you guys get back to work. But, when you return to Earth, what's the one thing that, and maybe there's more than one thing, that you're going to want to explain to people here on Earth, your favorite memory of the International Space Station?
I think it's a beautiful view of the Earth from the International Space Station, so that we recognize that we need to nurture the mother planet Earth.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, just I'll say a couple words, and I'll hand it over to Bob, and then we'll get it over to Capcom. But just awesome to see you guys, see your smiling faces. We really want to thank you for everything you do. Thank you for helping us celebrate 25 years of the International Space Station. To me, it's been one of the best things I've been able to do in my career. And people like you on orbit, people here on the ground, they make it special every day. So over to you, Bob.
Well, just thank you so much for your time. Treasure your experience up there together. It really is a special place. Thank you for all that you do. We look forward to seeing you all home back here on Earth. This is still a very special place also. And let's just keep charging into the future, working together as one on the International Space Station. Thanks, guys. Houston, back to you. Houston.
Station, this is Houston ACR, and that concludes the event.
Thank you, Associate Administrator Bob Cabana and Space Station Program Manager Joel Montalbano. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.